Hello, and I'm Leanne, calling in from Ely.
So welcome to the primary session. We're delighted to share this time with you today. Our theme for the upcoming session is back to school, whatever that means for you and your learners this September. We'll begin with a pre-recorded presentation from 5 members of our team in 5 different locations, featuring suggestions for 5 online activities developed from 5 of our best loved courses.
Yes, and this will be followed by a live Q&A session in which we invite you to share all of your questions with more than 5 members of our primary and pre-primary team. Please do also share any questions you have in the chat box as you listen. If we're unable to answer all of them today, we'll get back to you shortly afterwards. So here we go with our first speaker.
My name's Amanda Boyd. I'm based in Madrid, Spain, and I'll be starting the sessions today focusing on pre-primary at home and how we can use short video clips for routines and stories. I'll be using the presentation software from our new course, Cambridge Little Steps, an American English pre-primary course. Tip 1. A routine video. Pre-primary teachers use a variety of materials in class to set up routines. We use posters, flashcards, or interactive boards like this one you can see here on the screen. Why not record yourself going through your routines to make a video for parents to use at home? Ask questions and leave pauses for the students to answer. You can ask a mixture of open questions and yes/no questions. So you could say, what's the weather like today? Pause. What day is it? Pause. Or, is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Depending on the level of your students. You can appear on the screen. Your students will love that, to see your smiling face. Here I am at the bottom. Or maybe the class puppet could be the star of the show and work through the routines with the children. Start and finish your video with a routine song to set your students up for some English time at home. I think the parents would really appreciate it. Tip number 2, storytime videos. Parents really appreciate having some English stories to use at home. Record a story, but add in simple pre-listening activities to get your students moving, engaged, or to model and review pronunciation. For example, play Jump Up and Turn Around with key vocabulary. How does this game work? All you need some pictures, flashcards from the story of the key vocabulary on the screen, and ask your students to jump up and turn around when they see and hear a key word that you give them. For example, crayon. Jump up and turn around when you see and hear crayon. Boy, girl, teacher, crayon, book. Or you can model pronunciation with silly voices. Ask your students to repeat the word, in this case chair from the story, do a couple of rounds of normal pronunciation, and then ask them to do silly voices. Say chair like a lion. Say chair like a mouse. Then you can play your story.
What can you see? Hello, sun. Hello, boys and girls. Let's start our day.
If you don't have animated stories, you can use your big book to display the pages and play the audio, or you could just read the story yourself, and your students will be so happy to see and hear you. That's it from me. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Zara. I'm an editor in the primary team at Cambridge University Press, and I'm working on Kids Box. Now, during lockdown, many of us have spent a lot of time at home, and especially in the kitchen. I have 2 teenage sons, and they like to eat. And today I'd like to share with you an activity about food. I've taken it from Unit 8 of Level 4, It's a pair work activity, can be used online or in the classroom, and can be used with any topic, doesn't have to be food. It's about one person giving instructions and the other one doing the task. So we are going to make a sandwich. Daniel, my son, is going to help. Hello, Daniel.
Hello.
Daniel, please put the butter on the bread. Oh, no, sorry. Take the butter off the bread. Use the knife to get the butter and put it on the bread. The other side. Now, take the cheese and put it on the bread. No, take the plate off the bread. Get the slices of cheese and put them on the bread, please. Nicely. Good. Now take one piece of bread and put it on top of the other one. No, with the butter down. Thank you. Now get the knife, please, and cut your sandwich.
Hello, I'm Lawrence and I work on Superminds. If you use grammar videos, then you might be thinking about ways for students to use them at home. I'm going to show you a new animated video from Superminds 2nd edition, but you can use the ideas with other videos too. These videos correspond to the student's book and feature characters like Penny the Penguin. Here she is presenting "What's This?" Normally, you might use video in class and then students watch again at home or in the lab. If your students are currently doing more remote learning, this is an opportunity for them to watch before class and then move quickly on to the productive stages in class. Let's watch part of the video. Penny is teaching us prepositions.
Abracadabra, look at me! The frog's in my bag.
Frog,
It's under my chair.
frog,
The frog's on my hat.
frog.
It's really there.
So, students watch at home, they can watch and listen or watch and read, but the best part is that they can interact, speaking out loud, repeating or talking along with the characters. And here's the beauty of doing it at home. Even the shyest students can try the language out as much as they like and build confidence. They are in control of the pause button and can go back and forth as much as they like. Next, your students can practice the language with family at home or act out a story. Then watch in class, maybe just once. You can use the pause button again for students to notice details and use knowledge of their typical mistakes to draw attention to those areas. After watching, move into speaking practice. You can monitor, coach and note down points for improvement. So, to sum up, using video at home before class can free you up to make the best use of time in class. I hope you've enjoyed seeing Penny the Penguin and that I've given you some ideas for using video at home.
Hello to everyone watching around the world. My name is Rebecca Winthrop and I'm a commissioning editor in the primary team. I've been at Cambridge University Press nearly 6 years and before that I taught English in the UK, France and Russia. In this session, we will focus on how you can use online resources to facilitate and enhance your project lessons, whether your learners are in the classroom, at home, or a blend of the two. We will take an example project from our best-selling course Power Up and think about how we can ensure that all learners can participate and improve wherever they are working from. This project follows a familiar structure. Students discuss and plan in groups, create a poster, or in this case a map, then present it to the class. All of these steps can be done remotely while ensuring learners are still working collaboratively and actively practicing their English. In the classroom, group discussions may be dominated by the loudest or most confident students. Online collaboration tools can be more democratic, allowing all voices and ideas to be considered. They also allow students more thinking time to find the right words in English. There are some fantastic free online tools which enable students to brainstorm ideas together. For example, Bubble.us allows learners to collaborate in real time to create colourful mind maps. The interface is symbol-based, so language level does not need to be a barrier to participation. When it comes to the visual component of many projects, in the classroom, students may be limited to pencils, pens, and paper. At home, however, your learners can really get creative, using whatever materials they have. Why not have learners build their jungle park from toys such as Lego or Duplo? Or using video games such as Zoo Tycoon or Minecraft? You could reward not just the best English and most interesting ideas, but also the most creative formats to help engage your students' different learning styles. Finally, when it comes to the all-important presentation, online learning again offers up a new opportunity. Classroom-based presentations are generally done once, and even if recorded, there may be little incentive for learners to go back and watch themselves. Yet when students film and submit their presentations in advance, they will record, review, and retry to showcase the best of their English. This is particularly helpful for learners who are less confident in English or those with public speaking nerves. Pre-recorded presentations also ensure that all members of the group must contribute to the talk, not just the more confident speakers. So there we have it. There's a whole world of online tools and improvised home resources available. So use them to help your pupils better prepare, present, and participate in perfect primary projects. Thank you.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Oracy Morris, and it's Oracy time. Are you ready? Pay attention now.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Silver, and I'm based in Guanajuato, Mexico. I'm stepping in today for Oracy Morris to talk about teaching Oracy remotely in primary English classes. The Oracy method is a key part of our exciting new primary course, Cambridge Primary Path. The material you'll see in this presentation, including Oracy Morris and his students, comes from this course. Some of you may already be familiar with Oracy, but others may not. Oracy refers to the skills of effective, confident communication in lots of situations. For example, giving presentations, participating in discussions, or collaborating on a project. Oracy is more than the language we use. People with strong Oracy skills are good at persuading others. They listen actively. They are successful facilitators and collaborators. They are natural leaders. So how can we work on Oracy when we're not teaching face-to-face? Many of our interactions, such as eye contact and projecting our voices, are difficult to practice online. However, there are many Oracy skills that we can practice online, especially skills that are linked to collaborative work, such as listening actively, taking turns, asking for clarification, and giving positive feedback. To start out, we need to refocus our efforts by setting up global ground rules that are aligned to the new realities of our online classes. Here are some tips for getting started. Number 1. To facilitate good Oracy practices online, first make sure your students know how to use online tools, such as muting or unmuting their microphone, raising their hand or putting their hand down, and writing in the group chat box. Number 2. Remember, it is important to include students when defining the ground rules. When students are involved in setting the ground rules, they have a stake in them. So, work with your students to define global Oracy rules for all online situations, such as full class activities and group activities in breakout rooms. These may be more appropriate for upper primary students. Explain behaviors to avoid, such as the tendency to shout to get the teacher's attention or leaving the microphone on when the teacher or another student is speaking. Be sure to include rules about the use of the chat room, as the chat room has its own set of challenges. 3. Create a ground rules poster that you can hold up at any time with your video camera on to remind students if they are slipping. For upper primary classes, assign each student an Oracy ground rule at the start of the week. Ask students to pay careful attention to their assigned rule and report to the class after the activity if the rule has been broken. Number 5. When you call out problematic online behavior, be explicit about why it is bad Oracy and how it negatively affects communication. Finally, it is important to notice and praise good online behavior and define it as good Oracy. For more tips on teaching the Oracy methodology and teaching Oracy remotely, please go to my Oracy blog series on the Cambridge World of Better Learning site. Here is the link. And one final Oracy reminder. Keep in mind that building students' awareness of Oracy skills is a key part of Oracy. By simply presenting the skills and regularly reminding students about them, students will become sensitized over time. This will help them grow into stronger, more effective communicators.
Thank you for watching, and now our primary panel will be answering questions that you've been posting in the chat box. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can, Amanda.
Okay, right. We do apologise for the audio. One of the problems of home office, we've all got different internet connections and we've recorded from different locations, so I do apologise for the quietness. I hope it was possible with earphones to hear. So Leon, have people been posting questions?
Yes, we've had some really interesting questions. So one here now. Most computers no longer have a CD player and these books have CD-ROMs. Do you have a link for teachers to download the information? Well, that depends on the location of our customers, doesn't it, Amanda? Most of our items are now available on eSource, so we are able to send all audio out to you using a code. And in Spain, items are on Cambridge Teacher. Is there anything I've missed there? I think that covers it, doesn't it?
I think, yes, the important thing is that the teachers contact their local Cambridge sales representative and they'll be able to provide them with those codes that they need to access all the audio and the video.
Another question, how about students who use English as a second or foreign language? Do you cater to their needs as well? Who wants to take that? I think the answer is we absolutely do. And this material is very much designed for people who are using English as a second or or foreign language, though of course our material does increasingly go into bilingual schools in which some learners may have parents who are native speakers. Does anyone think we should add anything there?
I think just to say that the activities you've seen today, you could use with native speakers, because they're fun activities to do, but all of our material is designed for learners of a second language. So the activities that you will find in the books are graded and scaffolded according to their age group and language learning ability.
We had 2 questions around your session, Amanda. Where can we find the posters and where can we get the video?
Okay, so if you're using a Cambridge pre-primary product, you will have access to posters, flashcards. Some of the newer courses have these digital routine boards. So Green Man, Little Steps was the one I've just shown you. But again, if you speak to your local sales reps, they will be able to tell you exactly which materials you have. Other courses you may be using, I don't know the materials that are provided, but I think it's usual for posters and flashcards to be included. So you could make a routine board with different materials. It doesn't have to be an interactive one. The same with stories. Stories tend to be at least recorded with audio, so that you don't have to read the story, but I'm sure students would love to hear you, especially if they haven't seen you for a while. And some of the newer courses, like our course Little Steps and Green Man, also includes story animation. So you can just play the story and it's animated for an extra bit of excitement.
Thank you, Amanda. So Zara's was the next session, and there were lots of really good comments on that one. So thank you, Zara. A couple of you pointed out that it was making a sandwich was a good way to teach imperatives and the verb to spread. And someone noted that obviously, yes, if knives and other sharp cutlery are being used, we should make sure that an adult is present for young learners. And I think we want special thanks to your son, Zara, Daniel, for participating. No specific questions on Lawrence's session, which came up next that I recall, nor Becky's, but Kim's on Oracy. We had the question of our definition of Oracy. Who would like to take that one?
Well, I'm afraid Kim can't be with us because she's still asleep because she's in Mexico. But I'm not the expert to answer this question, but I think what I can say is that it has quite a broad definition, but in our book, in Cambridge Primary Path, it's about helping you build strong communicators. And strong communication is not just verbal, it's body language, it's confidence levels, and something very important, which probably has become apparent to all of us working online for so long now, is about active listening and how we listen and engage with the people speaking to us. So it's about confident communicators leading towards being expert communicators. Very difficult, but very valuable life skill.
Thank you, Amanda. We've had the message that it's time to end. There are a couple of questions that we weren't able to get to, so we will be in touch with answers to those.
We'll make sure we go through. The chat box is extremely long. In fact, due to your enthusiasm and the number of you joining us here today, which has been absolutely wonderful to see. So we will go through the whole thing, and we will make sure that we get back to every single person that we haven't been able to answer on screen. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We
you.
have to leave
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.